Now we are going to create the pod with single label in CLI mode. So we are going to run the command kubectl run web server. Image we are going to use Nginx 1.16 Alpine, and label we are specifying labels equal to apps is equal to Nginx web, and this option we have to specify so that we are able to create the pod only. So it is saying the pod web server created, and when we are going to run this kubectl get pods -1 show labels, it is showing this label apps is equal to Nginx. And if we are going to use this -o void switch, it will show the IP address also, and on node, in which node it is running, it is going to show. And if you want a detail, then kubectl describe pod / web server, and here the important information is it is showing us the label is equal to app is equal to Nginx web. Now we are going to delete that kubectl delete pod web server, and if you are going to run this command get pods, it is not. That means here we were looking at how to create single label in CLI mode. And before deleting, if you want further details about the pod, then again that describe command is there, kubectl described pod / web server, but you have to run this command before deleting that pod, because once the pod got deleted, you will not be able to get information. So we are showing the output, the full output of this command. So it is showing that a web server on worker 2 label is this, lot of details, and this is the how it got scheduled to worker 2, container image, created container, started container, all the pod details. Now we want to create the pod with multiple labels in CLI mode. So again kubectl run web server, this image we are going to use -- label equal to apps is equal to Nginx, environment equal to development. So with 2 labels, so we have to put it into inverted commas, and this option we have to use. Now pod get created web server, and with the kubectl get pods -1 show labels, we can view the labels. Here first it is showing that container creating, but labels are visible. Apps is equal to Nginx web, environment is development. And if you are going to describe, it is going to give you detail about the pod, and here lot of informations are there, but this is apps is equal to Nginx, and still the status it is showing pending. But again, if after sometimes if you are going to run this command with -show labels, it is showing that it is running, and again labels. And we can also, if hundreds of pods are running, we can say kubectl get pod label should be apps is equal to Nginx, then it will again show that web server. Now what we want to remove them. Now what will the command is kubectl label pod web server env -apps -. But since this command was wrong, so it is saying label env apps not found, because when we have to remove multiple labels, you cannot use a comma here, it should be space. So this command was wrong. So sometimes when we run the wrong command, we will get the errors that when it is showing that this label is not found. So you have to double check the command when you are running, whether you have typed the correct command or not. Now the correct command is kubectl label pod web server, because in our case when we created this, 2 labels were there, apps is equal to Nginx web, environment is development. So we wanted to remove those labels. So label pod web server environment -app -. Now that means pod labels got removed. Now we want to again add. So how we can add? Kubectl label pod web server apps is equal to Nginx web, environment equal to development. So that means first we remove, then we will edit the labels. So when we are going to run this command show labels, it is going to show you the labels. Again we want to remove environment -app -. Again when we will run this command, it is not showing any labels. Again, let us label. So again we are trying to run different commands so that you become comfortable with the labels, because this is, again, I'm telling again and again, it is very important concept, how to put labels, how to remove the labels, how to manage the labels. So again we are putting some labels. That means kubectl label pod web server, apps is equal to nginx web, environment is development. So we are have given these label. Now I want to change the label. That means apps is equal to nginx web, but environment variable I want change from production from development to production. When I'm going to run this command, it is going to give you one message, app already has a value. So we need, that means in this way we cannot change. If we are changing the variable, we have to use this term override. So that means same command with, you have to specify this option override, then only it will change the label. Now again, when we are going to run this command, show labels, kubectl get pods, this is a command which give you the labels, show labels. So it is showing that apps is equal to nginx web, environment is production. And now we are going to delete that pod. So we have deleted the pod. Now we will see how to create again create certain pods and specify certain other options also, which we did not use in earlier cases. So in our case, we are now comfortable with the labels. We have taken a lot of different examples of label, and then removing label, adding removal, overwriting the labels. Now we want to discuss some other things about the pods.